Arse Brothers production. Follow us on Twitter at The Arse Brothers. Get all our content on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify and SoundCloud at Arse Bros. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to smash that subscribe button.
We're back. After a long hiatus, the Friday Arse is back for a one-time special, especially with everything that's gone on this season. I think myself and Cory especially, we just can't be arsed, can we?
No.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
Not at all. But we've come back for a special, and I'm hoping that you will all enjoy it. Joining me is Dan, well, joining me and Cory, should I say, is Pottsy. Welcome, mate. It's a podcasting legend, isn't it, here? You know, he's everywhere, isn't he, this guy? He's on AFTV, he's on Same Old Arsenal. You get around, Pottsy, mate.
Yeah, I try, man. I just don't have a life. No, I'm joking. I just
lockdown, mate. Just blame lockdown.
Yeah, man. This has been exhausting, man. This has been boring. This has been exhausting. I'm tired of talking about this football club, but I think there's a lot that has to be said tonight. It's a pleasure to see both of you. Obviously, I have a lot of time for both of you and appreciate you. And I haven't been on the Friday Arse Bros for months, so because normally I'm doing my show the same time on Same Old Arsenal, which I've just finished with Russ. So I thought I'd jump on with you boys and have a chat. Obviously, we're missing Manny, who's late as always, but I'm sure he'll jump on because he has a lot to say as well. But thanks for having me on, Scunny.
No, not a problem, mate. I think the last time you come on the Friday Arse was towards the beginning of when we first started. So, yeah, it's a pleasure to have you back, my friend. It is definitely a pleasure. And, yes, as you said, Manny is running late. God knows what he's doing, but when he gets here, I'm sure you're going to love everything that he says. Like you said, Dan, he's got a lot to say, and some people are going to like it, some people aren't. But the topic for tonight, for the special, is what I've said is things that need to be said. You know, it's a case of if you want to hear it or you don't want to hear it, it's completely up to you. But we feel it's things that need to be said. And I'm going to start with a bit of positivity because I know Cory was telling me before he started is what he wants to say is quite positive or in the realms of positivity. Is that right, Cory? Yeah, statues there. God knows what's happened to him. I don't know if he's fallen asleep or not there.
It looks like he's staying very, very still. But no, his internet's obviously gone, man.
Yeah. well, anyway, I was going to start with Cory because he was going to be quite positive, or he was mentioning he wanted to be positive. Or some kind of positivity, but instead, I think we'll start with you, Dan. Tell us, mate, and you know, what do you feel that needs to be said right now?
It's hard to sum this up, Scunny, because I don't see one leader at this whole football club, let alone this management, this owner, this board. Nothing. There's no leaders at all. I think what needs to be said is hard to sum up. And I'm going to leave the fans out of it because I don't want to steal Manny's thunder. So I'm going to talk about the ownership and the manager and the lack of ambition as a whole, because the fan base are a whole different story and a whole different podcast. And I think we've done podcasts on Arse Bros before about the fans. But I want to talk about this ownership and this manager and the reason that they don't combine and the reason that the pair of them are the perfect storm. Because the owner has no ambition. The owner sits there and accepts mediocrity, and he's happy to allow people in this football club that cannot do their job, and he's happy for them to stay there and leave them to fester far too long. And this is just what epitomizes Arsenal Football Club. The ownership is poor. It's never been ambitious enough. There's never been an interest in it. And Stan Kroenke's never made any secret that he came to Arsenal not to win trophies, but to make money. So the ownership is all wrong. But that's not really what needs to be said, because that's something that everybody knows. What I want to do...
There's a lot of protests kicking about at the minute, so it's
precisely.
It's not something that, you know, it's everyone knows and everything. So, yeah, we all agree on that. These owners need to go.
It's finally something the fan base can unite and agree about, which I'm sure Manny will touch on when he comes on. So we've seen the protests. So now we look at the owner, the manager. The manager has never been good enough, and I never wanted him at the club. I made that very, very clear. Likewise, you did, Scunny. When he came to Arsenal, I gave him a bit of a free run last season because we were in a mess. It was rock bottom. Emery had gone and had left some terrible players there. So I thought, let's just see what you can do with these bunch. Get the maximum out of these terrible players. You've got a free pass from me. He came on Boxing Day, Mikel Arteta, if I remember correctly,
Yeah, I think it
took us
was. Yeah.
over at Bournemouth because the Everton game was just one too soon that Freddie had taken over, right? So then he came, was about for that. Then he got in charge of Bournemouth, and he kind of was a bit of a lift. And I thought the players needed that. They needed a new voice. They needed fresh ideas. So I can go with that. And then we played Chelsea and Manchester United, and I saw the team lift. Albeit it wasn't enough to beat Chelsea, we ran out of gas in the last 10 minutes. We actually turned over a good Manchester United side, and I thought, okay, he can get something out of these players, but he's still got a free ride for me to the end of the season. And then what happened towards the end of the season when he's managed to get the maximum out of it, put a run together, albeit I never saw a style of play, but he actually got the best out of them and got them up for big games against not just Sheffield United away in the FA Cup, Wolves away in the league, but also Manchester City in the semi-final and Chelsea in the final. And I thought, if this guy can do this with these players, if you back him in the summer, you might see that he can turn around something and be, I don't know, a manager that is learning but could be potentially good enough. Then we start into the season, and I thought the summer, he wasn't really backed. We signed Thomas Partey, but that was our big signing. It wasn't a lot of money at 45 million. Gabriel wasn't a huge signing, but it was a good one. And then he just got given Willian, Runnison, Ceballos again, and it wasn't really enough for me, right? So we start and we get a couple of wins, against teams that we expect to beat in Fulham and Sheffield United and West Ham. And then we play a real boring style of football against both Liverpool and City, and I'm starting to think, I'm not enjoying this football. What is he doing? I don't understand where we're going here with what our philosophy or style is going to be. Implement a style and stick to it. Prove to me you know where you want to take this team. We see 3 at the back. We see 2 at the back. We see 4. We then see 2 in midfield, 3 in midfield, 5 in midfield. So confused. I'm thinking, where's he going with this team? And then it was what Cory was saying off air, that run around October, November time where we come off the back of beating Manchester United by playing poorly, by the way, and getting a lucky penalty. Then we get hammered by Leicester, get thumped by Villa at home. Then we lose to Wolves, Burnley, Spurs, draw at Leeds, and go into these games towards Christmas thinking, this manager's got to get sacked. And I've been calling out for him since October, November, because I was asking questions in September, thinking this guy isn't right. And it got worse and worse and worse. And when I was calling for his head, he forced Smith Rowe and Saka together in the team with Martinelli out Christmas on Boxing Day. We beat Chelsea, and all of a sudden everything's okay. We beat West Brom, who, let's be honest, we should be beating. We then beat Brighton, who, let's be honest, we should be beating. They're both down the bottom of the table. And everybody starts to say, trust this process, believe in this manager. I'm not believing it because I'm not seeing a style of play. I'm seeing boring, unattractive football. And I do not understand what the team selection or substitutions are by sticking with Bellerin, sticking with Willian, sticking with Granit Xhaka, sticking with Rob Holding, forcing players into positions and into the side, which no one understands, mismanaging players, throwing Eddie Nketiah on as your plan B. This was all a real mixed match for me and really hard for me to understand. But people were saying to me, trust this process, believe in it, it will get better. And the Europa League, for me, was just a competition of beating bin men, basically, in Dundalk and all these teams that we had. So it was a kind of hard to judge him on. The team selection and the tactics continued. He's brought in players like Erdegaard and Ryan, who were 2 good signings, but he's not improved the side, in my opinion. And all I hear from people is he needs to go now that we've been knocked out to Villarreal. Now, 2 games later against West Brom and Chelsea that we've beat, I mean, Chelsea made 7 changes and kicked the ball in the net for us to win, by the way. But we beat them, and we should be happy about that. Now it's all of a sudden, I think he might have turned. Christmas Day, if the league started, we'd be in 3rd place. Well, when has the league ever started on Christmas Day? And trust me, next season it won't. It will start in August. So I don't understand how that is an excuse to make for this manager improving us or showing any progress. We're out of all the competitions. We're out of Europe. And in my opinion, we are nowhere near good enough as a football club under this manager, players included, to be where we should be. We might finish 6th, we might finish 7th. That is not progress as far as I'm concerned. We needed, with this squad of players, to be a much higher player. And people can sit there and tell me it's the players all they want. This manager is picking the Bellerin still, the Holding still, the Chakas still, the Lacazettes, the Willians, yeah? These players are still playing in this team, and it is his responsibility for that. This team should be nowhere near 10th, 11th, 12th, where it's been loitering around for the majority of the season. Hell, we were back in 15th and 16th around just before Christmas. This is not progress. Players like Tierney, players like Gabriel, Pablo Marie, Thomas Partey, Erdegaard, Lacazette, Pepe, Aubameyang, Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli. You're telling me that Everton, Villa, Leeds, West Ham, Spurs wouldn't want any of those players? Those players are good enough to get us challenging for the top four. Not in it and guaranteed it or concreted, cemented it, but they should be challenging it, especially with the diabolical teams that have been in this Premier League season, this season, with, West Ham nearly getting into the Champions League because Liverpool have been so poor. Chelsea were 9th until Tuchel took over. Leicester went and beat, Man City 5-2 and then couldn't go and beat Newcastle. This is how poor it's been. So apart from Manchester City this season, I'd fancy our chances against anybody with the right team turned up. And that is why I'm calling out for the manager. I never wanted this guy. I wanted Simeone, Antonio Conte, Allegri, Ancelotti. I did not want Emery. I did not want Arteta. So that points at the board and the owners, of course. But I look at the situation saying, right, I can only judge this guy on what I'm seeing with my own eyes, and it is not good enough. The tactics and the team selections, the substitutions, the play, the style is boring and unattractive. And I do not enjoy watching Arsenal games because of the style of play under this manager, Scunny. And I think he has to go. He cannot get to this season. I don't think he's going to, by the way, but he cannot get to this season, be out of everything and finish below the top 6 and keep your job. No.
Mate, you're preaching to the choir with me, mate. And I think Cory feels the same way about the manager as well. As I said before, you're preaching to the choir here. We know exactly who he is. We know exactly what we're getting out of him. And I'm not convinced. Are you convinced with the manager, Cory?
No. What's there to convince anyone?
Exactly.
Anything.
Exactly. And sorry, Cory, I'm just going to say, and this comment here that's at the bottom of the screen, trust the process, get fucked. Seriously? No. Trust the fucking process. That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life at a football club, is when people say, trust the process. What? Come on.
But look, that's what, something like that, yeah, is a comment like that, a line like that, is a way to appease the masses, or, to say, look, yeah, look, success is around the corner. We're on our way there, trying to convince people. But we have to see something. We have to see that progress. We've been in transitional period since we moved to the Emirates. Yeah. It's like, enough's enough now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you there, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So there's that talk about the Emirates saying we're going to challenge with the likes of Munich, Bayern Munich, and the likes of Barcelona. And ever since we've been there, it's just been a downward spiral. So yeah, I get that. Yeah. So it's like, no, we didn't sign up for that. When Wenger was showing us that maybe his best days were behind him, it was clear to everybody. Like, I don't want sometimes people say, oh, we were really harsh on Wenger, and do you know what I mean? Maybe it's the devil that but no, we have to remember when Wenger was there, we had some horrible results. The football got not great. Me and Dan used to talk about, where's our style of play gone? We don't actually have a style of play. It's just, we just seem to buy players that we, opportunistic buys, that, oh, okay, he's available. Let's get him, with no thought as to what type of football or what style of football it is that wanted to play. Just like, is that player cheap? Is he available? Then yeah, we'll get him and then try and work it out afterwards. And that's what was happening. And then he was still scraping some results together, but it just wasn't what we were used to.
Well, yeah, so, if you think about it, if you look at some of the players that Wenger bought, even during them times, there were some fucking terrible players.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we still managed to get top 4.
Yeah, because luckily we had like a Sanchez who was carry the team at times, so we did have that, but
we always had that one player who could turn it up on the day.
Yeah, and even now to this day, we're still relying on that one player, and that player changes in this regime from month to month, where we've had Aubameyang, and then it came to a point of where his contract was coming to an end, and then we got all excited that him signing a new contract, because we was looking at that player as that this is the guy that we have to sort of rely upon now. And then he's not had a great season. Then we started looking at someone like Saka. And he's a kid. and Smith Rowe, and do we rely on him? Never the whole team, because for a while now we have not assembled a great team at this club, and then we decide that we're going to take the route of getting a manager with no experience, but keeping our fingers crossed that he might be special. This might be one of the next managers to emerge that could be elite, and all the chatter and the fact that he's worked so closely with Pep and whatnot, we all sort of drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
On that one, not Dan. I have to say, Dan didn't drink the Kool-Aid, but I did. I was like, hey, you never know. Like, if we are going to get an elite manager at Arsenal, the way we've fallen, we're probably not going to be able to get that type of manager after the world has seen how good they are. So we need to get them early. So I thought, all right, let's try it. We've tried it. He's definitely not going to be an elite manager anytime soon. And now his inexperience is really dragging us down. And we're the Arsenal. We should not be enabling a coach to transition into a manager and to accept all his poor results and his poor decision making, and at the cost of our success, just so that he could maybe get better. We're not that club.
No, I completely agree with you, but for sure, mate, because it's like, it's one of the things. Okay, when Emery came in, he came in with a lot of. He had a good CV, didn't he? He's had champion. He's had championships. He had 3 Europa Leagues on the bounce. So he had a CV, and he had quite a decent CV. He was at PSG before he came to us, and he won everything but the Champions League with them. So it's like, well, this guy had a good CV, but obviously it fell down for him. There's a lot could be said about Emery and everything else that went with him. Obviously the language barrier, and sometimes you could think to yourself, Jesus Christ, this guy's on another level somewhere, but not in a good way. It's like, what the hell are these tactics? What the hell have you bought? What the hell are you playing? So yeah, there is that. And then when you come down to it, Arteta I know there's a lot of talk out there, and I saw it at the time. Is that, we got Arsene Wenger when he was a novice, he'd only managed at Monaco and in Japan. And it's like, well, yeah, but you got to think, during that, it was a completely different time. It was a completely different style of football and everything else that went with it. And Wenger at the time when he first came in, he had a plan. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan. So he knew what he was going to do year on year. You could see that progressing to that point. During the good days. So you could see that happening. But with Arteta and everything else that's going on with the team at the minute, I don't feel like I can see him having his plan, or what we feel, or I feel, or look like his plan. I can't see it progressing. There's no progression there for me at all. You've got talks of like Dan said, look at the players that we signed. We signed Partey. I'm not going to judge him too much for Partey. He has had a poor season, but it's his first season in the Prem. And after coming from La Liga, it is a completely different kettle of fish. So I'm not going to judge him too harshly, but he hasn't been great. And then you look at things like signing Ceballos again on loan. Why? We had Maitland-Niles in, we had Guendouzi, at the time. So we had midfielders there. But yeah, he got rid of them and put them, well, not Maitland-Niles straight away, but he got rid of Guendouzi. Okay, Guendouzi was a hothead. But why not give Maitland-Niles a chance at centre mid? There's talks around this sort of thing. So for me, I just don't see a plan with Arteta.
This is the thing. Like, there are certain young managers that you think, okay, give them a chance, right? Because you can see that they've got good elements to their game, right? But with Arteta, there's so much flaws in this man, even just with regards to picking a team and man management and whatnot. Like, how many players has he pissed off since he's come into this club? How many he's been accused by, not just by the fans, but in the media as well, of favoritism, picking players, and it baffles everybody as to why this player still gets picked up when they have bad game after bad game after bad game. Yeah, that there's something that he's biased or he's not seeing, that even us as fans, I'm not a football manager, okay? Dan's not a football manager. So some people give him the excuse of being inexperienced, right? But it's like, no, because even us, the things that have actually worked for him
are things that we were calling for ages before he actually implemented them. And we're not football managers. So it's like, it's not about experience. It's just that this guy is just a bit clueless, you know, and until something has to be forced down his throat, he doesn't see it. He's got blinkers on. And so that's a sign of a bad manager. This is what gets guys sacked, and they actually never attempt football management again. Look at a Roy Keane, you know, look at guys like Graham Souness and whatever that have tried their hand at management. Gary Neville, right? They've tried it and they've done this and they've performed similar to Mikel Arteta, okay? And then they got sacked, and they have to hold their hands up and be like, you know what? I'm better as a pundit. Yeah. You know? But Arteta, he's lucky. He's lucky that when he did come in and they won the FA Cup, you know, he caught Aubameyang at a good time, you know, where he was able to carry our team to that, you know, and with the coaching that the coaching that he has done, he's probably able to sort of just organize a team just to say, like, look, you know, you stay tight to him, position yourself there so that we don't get battered. But with everything else, he has been shockingly poor. You know, our football is shit. It's like our attacking play is crap. I never know how we're going to score a goal. I don't know how it's going to go in. I don't know who's going to score it. I couldn't tell you. You know, I don't know if we're going to have more than one shot on target in a match. If we don't have one, I'm not surprised. Regardless of the opposition, we could be playing Sheffield United. Yeah, if we had one shot, I wouldn't be surprised. That's where we're at now. Like, and this is where the expectations of the club have been brought down. They have absolutely, like, the board and the owners have absolutely shit on our badge, on a Gunners badge. Something that we used to be able to be proud of. You know, to say, like, we're the Arsenal. Yeah, we're the Gunners. Yeah. It means nothing now. We're a laughing stock. Yeah, we're a banter club. Yeah, the teams, the media, and they just have nothing but like either funny shit to say about us,
make fun of us. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, or other teams have sympathy. You know, when you look at pundits like Gary Neville and whatnot, and Mackay Richards and on Sky Sports, and they sit down and talk about Arsenal, it's with sympathy. They're like, how has this giant of a football club, you know, this, you know, that other teams used to fear so much and used to look up to and used to envy, you know, how quickly they're fallen because of bad decision making. It's like, and we're not doing anything about it, you know. We're not like Chelsea, where sort of like first sign of, you know, like that we're starting to fall off, we address it straight away. We've allowed it, starting with Wenger, and Wenger staying for too long, and then right up into Arteta. With Emery was like, when we appointed, I wasn't underwhelmed. I wasn't overwhelmed. I was just whelmed. You know, I was like, it's just like, he's all right. But you could, when you checked his record and you checked his history as a manager, there was success, but there's a lot of flaws in his game as well. You know, he had a terrible away record with Sevilla. You know, he did win some Europa Leagues with them, but he could only win at home. That was a concern. And then that actually turned out to be the case with us as well. Like our away form was not great.
No, I was at them games and it wasn't great.
Yeah, so he had flaws in his game. PSG sacked him for a reason. Yeah, he won some trophies there, but you know, it's PSG. But they sacked him for a reason. They obviously didn't like what they were seeing.
Do you know what though, Cause? Right, with Emery, right? This is what I always say. Emery got this team into the Europa League final, something that Arteta's not done, and got us fifth in the league by 1 point off of fourth. Yeah. And we had many chances to get that top four, by the way. You know, Aubameyang had a penalty saved. Mustafi had jumped in behind Zaha and given a goal away. Granit Xhaka gave away 3 penalties that year by silly mistakes, right? So we should have got in the top four, granted, and we should have beaten Chelsea because we were the better team running into that game. So I understand that. But that team is not the team now, because that team was Iwobi, Welbeck, Mustafi, Socrates, El Neni, Kolasinac, Guendouzi. Completely different side, yeah? And people say these players were rubbish under Wenger and Emery. These players are not the same players under Mikel Arteta, because Emery did not have Partey, Gabriel, Marie, Cedric, Ryan, Erdegaard. You know, Emery didn't
better
really
players
have
than what he definitely had worse players than
much better players. He had worse players. I mean, and people say, oh, he had a much better team. So he had Ramsey, but he also had Monreal and not Tierney. He also had. I don't understand this. Where does this come from that he had better players because Ramsey and Koscielny were there? I don't understand
this thing with Ramsey. This thing with Ramsey is something that's it's like a thorn in my side. It's been for ages now. It's like Ramsey. He was not the be all and end all. He was on the table more than Jamie Redknapp.
He was. Good player, but that's it. You know,
yeah, he was a good player. You know, Darren Anderton was a good player, but he was on the bloody medical bench as well, more than anyone. You know, it's one of them things, isn't it? It's like, no, yes, he was good. I'm not denying that, but he was not the answer. He was not the be all and end all of everything.
People want to bring him back. Some people want to bring Ramsey and Szczesny back.
We're going to get into the fans. I know Manny was probably chomping at the bit, but we are going to get into what we need to say about the fan base. I know that is definitely coming, but before we do.
Just quickly, Scotty, sorry, mate. I just wanted to say this about what we're bringing that up for was because of Arteta. Obviously, you can't get the best out of these players with the new players. Was my point. But just quickly as well, on the back of what Cory's saying, I think when he's mismanaged players, I think he's been terrible in front of the press as well. I think he's so naive and stupid. I mean, we only saw last week. Can you get the majority out of this team? I can with some of them, but not all of them. And then they promote that, and he goes absolutely nuts after the Chelsea game, saying, "I didn't say that." Well, I've listened to it 5 times, and he fucking did say it. So I don't know where he's coming from with this. I didn't say that. It's been misinterpreted. No, the question was, can you get the best out of these players? The majority of them, yes. Like what? So some of them you can't. No, I can't get the best out of some of them. That was what he said. Then he comes out and says, I didn't say that. What I was saying was I would not accept anything but 120% out of all these players. So he's changed his tune. He's forgetting what he said to the press. Then he comes out and absolutely slaughters Pepe when he headbutts someone against Leeds. And then Xhaka grabs someone by the throat the following week and he says, I'm afraid he was just a little bit over passionate, Granit Xhaka. But the week before when Pepe headbutted someone, it was unacceptable, totally unacceptable. So
it was hardly a fucking headbutt either, was it? You know what I mean? It was like a small coming together.
Yeah. So there's too many inconsistencies for me. And these non-negotiables, what were they at the start of the season? Play shit and I'll keep playing you? Like, what the fuck is the non-negotiable? Because I see William playing absolutely cack all season and he's still coming on. I don't understand it. Bro. I don't get it.
This is the thing. He talks about like hard work and all these players. He goes, no. I didn't say that. These players all give 120%. No, they don't. Like we've been playing the most passionless, slow, passive football I've ever seen. At this club. Yeah. I've never seen us so devoid of drive. Yeah. Don't chat shit. Don't just because you say it doesn't make it true, right? These guys, they ain't running for you. They're not running for a wall for you. Yeah. They're not bothered. Do you know what I mean? No. Like in terms of like playing for you, right? I don't really feel like they like him. Honestly, I think there's been so much bias. I think there's some players that do like him. I think Xhaka likes him.
Yeah, he's getting games.
Yeah, I think Willian likes him.
Yeah, because he's getting cash in here because he's coming on at decent times. So his contract must be wicked, you know.
Yeah, I think Bellerin loves him, you know. But no, these guys, they don't. I see. We're not stupid. Yeah, we're Arsenal supporters, but we watch other teams. Yeah, we know how like other players play for their manager. You know. Just through effort alone, even if they don't have the talent, you know, we see what a team plays like and the pace that they play at, you know, when they are passionate about playing for that club and playing for that manager. And we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that at all. So especially the game against Villarreal, second leg, you can't get your players up for that, you know. Then it's like it's either they don't play for you or you tell them to go out and play like that. You tell them to play with the handbrake on, you know, and that's not Arsenal. That's not us either. The identity of the club has to start being represented again. We have to get back to that. Let's start with that, the identity and what we're about and what the fans want to see. Yeah, start finding a manager and some players to go with that identity. But to be honest with you, I doubt it because that identity we've lost it from the top, you know, from the owners. You know,
Cory, trust the process, mate.
And this is the thing, man.
Before I'm just going to come off that now, Dan. I know we could probably talk about Arteta all day, but I do want to get into other things as well, mate. So I'm just going to cut you off there. But there was one question I saw in the chat. Mark Mertz asked if Arteta was still the coach and he had a strong leadership structure above him, would Arsenal have performed better this season? I'm going to answer that quite quickly, and I'm sure you two do the same. No, not at all. You guys got a different answer to that?
Nah, man, because we've seen him be given players.
He's been given free rein as well, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's been backed more than Emery, believe it or not. Emery wanted like different players, and they were telling him to go and get Pepe instead of Zaha and whoever it was in the middle instead of Partey. And I think they wanted Fabinho. I think they wanted Upamecano. All these players that they weren't given. David Luiz and all this stuff, right? So he's been given 8 players, and he has been worse, in my opinion, than Emery was without those 8 players. So when he's been given strong leadership and structure from above, I'm not sure if the question is meaning more on the coaching staff or from board level. I don't know what he means, but I feel like the coaching staff could do more, in my opinion, Steve Round, etc., because they're looking at him. And the amount of times me and Lee Judges have said, get one of your drips on the line to tell you that it's not working down this left-hand side or in the middle of the field or whatever it be. Like, how are those coaching staff sat there in the first leg against Villarreal and allowed a false 9 to happen all game? How have the coaching staff in the second leg allowed for Thomas Partey to be in the middle on his own and Erdegaard and Smith Rowe to be playing in 6s, then 8s, then 10s together? There's no understanding there between the coaching staff and the telepathy of the manager and the players. So I'm with you, Scunny. I disagree.
Yeah, so do I. So quickly, just because it's not. I don't think it's an attitude thing with Arteta. I think Arteta probably works hard, but it's an incompetence thing with Arteta. So yeah, having a strong leadership above him is not going to make him play Martinelli more. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to. That's not going to make him make better substitutions. That's not going to, make him implement better tactics. It's not like coaches like him just get sacked. Like I said, it's not about that he's at a club that really badly wants success. He's just at a club that's too much for him at the moment. You're on mute, Mike.
You're on mute, Scunny.
I didn't realise. What I was going to say was, before I look like an idiot, the guys above him aren't picking the team. They're not sorting out the tactics. They're not putting out what the drills need to be done during coaching throughout the week before games and stuff. So, at the end of the day, you got to look at it as, for me, Arteta has failed. We're the lowest we've been in the league in my lifetime anyway, ever since I've been an Arsenal fan. There's a lot of people who were, say longer Arsenal fans, for instance, who have been supporting for longer than me, who are older than me, who have seen these dark days where we were we've been amongst the mid-table and stuff. But in my lifetime, no, that hasn't. We've never been there. And to me, I want someone who's more experienced as a manager. I want an experienced manager to come in and to sort stuff out properly from someone with experience. That's my take on it. I can't get behind Arteta, even if he has full reign over this summer transfer window. He gets 200 million, for argument's sake, to spend. I still won't get behind him because I just don't think it'll work.
I want someone better, much better. I want someone experienced. I want someone good. I want someone great. Want someone.
When I mean experience, on them lines,
I know what you mean.
Someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, because I wouldn't want, say, Sam Allardyce. Do you know what I mean? Just because he's experienced.
Yeah,
I want someone that is befitting of the club. Yeah, so not another Europa League manager. Unless that manager is showing, serious promise. He's got his team playing way out of their skin, way above their level. Then otherwise, no. Give me a manager that is befitting of the club, who has won things,
Antonio Conte, man. It's got to be somebody like that.
Who we faced in the Champions League and back in the day, and beaten. Like they know about Arsenal and what we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to be, and you got to be talking about a Conte and Allegri, a Simeone, a coach that has won a title or titles in their respective league, not just made top 4, not sort of done well in the Europa League, or got to a final here or there. Yeah, somebody that knows how to put out a team and consistently win matches, and that has it within themselves, that belief in themselves that they want to compete at the highest level and let that filter down to these players, because I feel like these players could do a lot better than what they're doing.
Oh, 100%. And I think, when you've got someone like that in you, who's coaching you, who's managing you, it rubs off on you. You've got a winner above you who's managing you. It makes you feel like, right, I've got to be 100% here now. This guy knows exactly what he's doing. He knows what he wants from me. I have to perform better. So I'm going to have to step it up. It rolls down, doesn't it? So
that's why the big teams stay big teams,
Yeah, exactly.
When, if you look at a Real Madrid or Barcelona, like Barcelona are nowhere near what they were. But so this is probably the worst they've been. They're still a couple points off top. Do you know what I mean? That's as much as they let their level drop. Same with Real Madrid.
Do you remember when we were like that,
Madrid.
Cory?
Huh?
Do you remember when we were like that, Cory? Do you remember after Leicester won the league, we were gutted? Do you remember being in mourning in 2003 when Manchester United won the league when we lost at Leeds? I remember that. I remember walking away from Highbury. Like, I was just at a funeral. Like, my God, we've just thrown this title away. Now, we're supposed to be celebrating 8th like it's some form of progress. I don't understand this club. Where the fucking hell are we going to now? Like, honestly. Anyway, just to slightly change the subject before I forget, otherwise I will. Breaking news, obviously, a couple of hours ago, David Luiz is leaving Arsenal, which is great news as far as I'm concerned. The breaking news now from The Athletic, the same source, Granit Xhaka is also leaving Arsenal in the summer. Happy fucking Friday, boys. Get
Happy
fucking
Friday.
in. See you both later.
You heard it. And whoever's listening, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
Arse Bros is the place to go.
The Oracle has spoken.
but do you know that this is great news, yeah. But whose decision is it? Is it the players? And if it is the players, that's sad. Yeah,
it makes it worse.
That's sad that we've got guys like David Luiz and Granit Xhaka that feel like they could be happier elsewhere than at this club.
With regards to David Luiz, I can accept that more if it come from him, because he's getting to that age now. His body's probably, breaking down on him a bit, after playing for so long as a full athlete, a professional athlete for so many years, it takes its toll. I can't turn around and say much about being a professional athlete at all.
Really?
But no, not all, mate.
Are you great at snooker?
Russian shot putter, maybe, but that's about it. But, as I was saying, it will take its toll. It'll take its toll on the bones, it'll take its toll on your legs and everything else that goes with it.
Yeah, but he's not retiring.
No, he's not retiring, but I can understand why he would probably want to leave. He'd probably want to slow his career down so he can have a big payday, maybe at the MLS or something like that. So I can get that. I understand that. But with someone like Granit Xhaka turning around saying, I don't want to be at this club no more, I can't accept that. If I was a manager, that have to be my choice. You, out. Not, oh, yeah, okay, mate, I'll see you later. Love you, bye. No, that wouldn't work.
We're paying players to leave.
Well, yeah, we paid Mesut Ozil.
Yeah. Kolasinac will be the same. We'll have to pay him to go. Honestly, man.
This is what I'm saying. This is the sad thing about it. Like, the players that were here, they were like, look, you're paying me. I don't really give a shit. I don't care about playing for this club. As it's not a big deal for me to pull on the Arsenal shirt. So I don't really give a shit, and it shows in my performances, and everybody else can see it. So the value of the player has dropped so much that a team was turn around and say, I'm not even going to give you 50 pence for that player. You have to pay me to take that player, and we're not covering those wages. Why the fuck would you even give him those wages in the first place? Are you crazy? We're definitely not paying him that. So, and this is where we're at. It's sad, and I'm seeing stuff at Arsenal that I don't see at any other club. I don't see any other club paying players to leave. Players that were once, someone like Ozil, who was once great, fall that low, and he's okay with it, and we're sort of okay with it. And
there were people out there who were okay with it. That was the worst bit.
It's weird though. It is weird, that we couldn't put him out on loan or nothing. It's just like, look, this is the situation. I mean, to not register him for it was just I've never seen it at any other football club before, and it's all happened under this manager's tenure, and it's like this lets me know, like, oh my God, like I want him gone, and I wanted to sort of put all of this behind us, and all of this weird shit of paying players to leave and stuff like that, because we can't get any type of form out of them. Yeah, Come on.
And the thing that makes me laugh, and I think it's going to come onto our next point, to be fair, and I think that's more my point than anything else. It comes onto the fans and what I feel that needs to be said about the fans. And that just sort of comes down to it. You know, there's fans out there who actually turn around and accept the decision to pay Ozil, Mustafi, you know, these types of players. And they're accepting, oh, yeah, he wouldn't have left otherwise, would have still had him for another year. Fine, you're paying him anyway. Get him on the fucking back burner and let him rot. Fuck him. Simple as that. You know, balls to that. Why should we be paying them to play somewhere else? No.
Shocking.
That's like me saying, right, okay, going to my manager or something and saying, right, mate, I'm leaving, but I still want a paycheck. You're going to get told to fuck off, aren't you? Seriously. They're going to be like, no. Get the fuck out. Exactly. It's the same thing. And it's like, no, nothing. No chance. Fuck off. You don't pay someone to leave. You just don't. Not a professional athlete, like, you know, not in football. You just don't do it. This is what gets me on about the fans. You know, what we was talking about before, and me and Dan and Manny, who unfortunately hasn't been able to join us for whatever reason, we've been talking about for quite a while now with the fan base. It's like, really, this fan base, seriously, what have you accepted? Why have you accepted such mediocrity? Why? I just don't understand it. I really don't. Dan, do you want to come in? Because I'm getting my words confused now.
Nah, mate, I was proud of the fans at the protest. And that's about as far as it stops for me, mate. This fan base have given me nothing but abuse for most of this season, if I'm honest, on WhatsApp groups and Twitter and social media for calling a manager out that I clearly don't see as good enough with my own eyes. And now we get knocked out, and all of a sudden the fan base are like, you know what? I think he might be right, Dan. Nah, man, stay over there. You've been telling me to trust the process the whole of this time. I don't want you to come over here now. You trust in the process. You love this manager. He's the best young coach in the world. You love the tactics. You're excited by the play. You can see progress. You're trusting a process. Why? Because the process I see is not anywhere near where I would be accepting it. And they are accepting this. So those fans that have accepted it, and it is only a section of the fan base, they deserve Mikel Arteta. They deserve Stan Kroenke. And they deserve to be 8th and out of Europe, as far as I'm concerned. Because that's what they've accepted. They've told me that Mustafi and Xhaka are two of the best players currently in the... Mustafi. David Luiz and Xhaka are two of the best players this season. Maybe that's fact, but that's not good enough for me to accept. So I don't understand where the fans come from in that respect. The other thing I don't understand with the fan base is that we've never quite been able to unite as a fan base. I saw us unite in our thousands on the Friday night at the Everton game to get Stan Kroenke out. There was an understanding on Thursday night last week when we went out that Mikel Arteta wasn't good enough. Now, all of a sudden, we're trusting the process again because we beat West Brom and Chelsea. No. Where's this flip-flopping coming, man? One thing about me and Fergus, right? We've both been consistent with different opinions. Fergus wants to keep Arteta here. That's fine. Have that opinion if you want. I've wanted to get rid of Arteta, right? So we've been consistent throughout. The amount of fans I see flip-flopping, yeah, I don't think he's good enough now. Oh, no, we did beat Chelsea, though, twice. First time we've done that since 2004. I think he might be all right. Oh, I quite enjoyed his tactics against Chelsea when they made 7 changes and kicked the ball in the net for us. I think he might be all right. Where's this flip-flopping coming from? I don't understand that with the fan base. And the other thing I don't understand is the fan base who 5 or 6 years ago when the Kroenke out debate was occurring, they were spitting at each other, throwing stuff at each other, fighting with each other, swearing at each other, throwing things at each other. Cannot unite. Too busy slagging off AFTV or Granit Xhaka or Mesut Ozil or disagreeing whether Wenger should have stayed or not, whether we should be looking at the Ashburton Army as an issue or we care do you as an issue. Let's actually have one voice. And I saw that on that Friday night once, and I hope to see it again at the weekend, next weekend against Brighton, because that's the only thing I can say that I'm proud of about the fans is you coming together and united to have one voice. As for the ones on social media that are flip-flopping and accepting mediocrity, I can't understand that. I cannot understand it. As I said to you earlier, I was in mourning coming second place to Manchester United. I was actually frustrated. Me and Lee Judges were talking about it. When we won the league at White Hart Lane, I was pissed off that we didn't beat them. We were 2-0 up and we drew 2-2. Now we're accepting mediocrity by saying that we are a club that is in a progress of a process by coming 8th in the league currently and by being out of all competitions and losing to, let's be honest, the Villarreal side that I think Everton or Villa could have beaten over 2 legs. So I don't see this progress. I don't see this, understand this fan base, and the acceptance of mediocrity and the fact that they do not see that Arsenal is still a pulling club. We have the pulling power still to get Thomas Partey to Arsenal without Champions League football, who are currently sitting top of La Liga and have been into the final only a few years ago more than we have. We can get Aubameyang and Lacazette here without Champions League football. Kieran Tierney here. We can bring Gabriel here, who wanted to go to PSG, Napoli, Manchester United and Arsenal. He chose Arsenal because Arsenal's a huge club. That's why Simeone and Conte can come here. None of this, we can't get them. We'll have to go for somebody like Graham Potter or Ralph Hasenhüttl. No. I don't care if I'm not snobby to go and say no to those managers. I'm not snobby to go and get players from Fulham, from Hull, from Brighton. I don't care. That's not what I'm saying. We need to accept that we are a huge, huge club reputational-wise, and we need to act like one now. And the fan base have accepted the mediocrity and said, this is where we're at now. This is 8th. This is fine by us because this is just where I expected us to be. If anybody after that FA Cup final win expected us to come 10th or 9th or 8th in the league, they're lying to themselves because everyone was talking about challenging for top 4 once we signed Partey and Gabriel. So this is why I can't stand the section of the fan base, brother. I can't.
No, I completely agree with you, and I'm in exactly the same boat as you, mate. And to turn around and to go back onto the manager section again, quick, but not go into Arteta. You know, when you talk about this, I'm saying, oh, we need to change manager. The quick question back to you is, who do we get? Who can we afford? We can't afford this manager. Bullshit. I don't agree with that whatsoever. If we can afford to pay Willian 200k a week,
yes,
we can afford to give a manager 200k a week. It's as simple as that. There's no ifs, there's no buts. It can be done. And this is what's really pissed me off of the whole situation with the fan base, because I'm just getting sick of it. When you get called a snob, or you've got a snobbish attitude, why? Because I want better. Because I know we can get better. Like what you've just been saying, that we can get better. We can do better. But it's me having a snobbish attitude. No, it's not me having a snobbish attitude. It's me wanting better for the club that I support. That's not being snobbish. It's like, I think there was comments along the lines of not so long ago, it was Szczesny. He's on a free transfer coming up this season. And I got asked the question, would you take him? I said, no, I wouldn't. It's not 2010. We don't want him back. We don't want him back. We don't need it. We were fine with Leno. Yes, Leno's not had a great season, but he's a good keeper. So there's no problem there. Oh, but Leno's leaving now. Right, okay. Would you still take Szczesny? No. It's not 2010. He failed at Arsenal when he was here, and he's gone to Juventus and done whatever he wants to do there. That's fine. That's fair enough. Mate. No, I wouldn't take him back. Why should we have to take him back? Oh, but you've got a snobbish attitude. Fuck you. Why have I got a snobbish attitude for just turning around and saying no? If you're going to get a keeper, get someone better than Szczesny. Get someone better than Leno. It's not difficult. Maybe now they're on about signing a bloody player from Ajax for 7 million who's on a fucking drugs ban. Really?
I see that. I don't know who he is though. Do you know that he's
on Anna? I think he's called. I have not seen anything of him, but he's on a drugs. Yeah, something like that. But he's on a drugs ban till February next year. What's that going to do for us, isn't it? Yeah, nice one. Sweet. Well done. Now we're employing druggies at the club. Yeah, that's going to make real fucking good, isn't it? You know what I mean? Sorry, Cory, mate. Go on.
No, so just my little 2 pence on the fan base. Like, our fan base, probably more so than any other fan base, like I said, we've been divided for a while now. I mean,
we still are, really.
You know, there was with the whole thing was sort of when things were good. Obviously, like we're all on the same page because isn't everybody? Do you know what I mean? There's when you're at work and you're at your company and the money's rolling in and everything. The meetings are great, you know. But when things get a bit difficult, everybody's got an opinion of how you should go about trying to fix it. But this fan base in particular are they're just sheep. They remind me of like people that only buy iPhones, right? It's like if you tell a sheep to go that way, they go that way. You tell a sheep to go that way, they go that way, right? So with Arsenal, it's like you tell that sheep that Arsenal should be, you know, the number 1 club in the country. They're like, okay. You say that we deserve to be 8th, and that's the process. Yeah. They're like, okay. They're just okay to everything. And then when you've got somebody that says something that takes them out of their delusion, you know, of their comfort zone, of them being like, okay, I like being told that I should support a club that used to be challenging for the title, is now mid-table, and this other person has something to say, and it's upsetting me, then that's when they get upset and they want to have a go, you know, because they just want to live in this world where they're dictated to and they don't have their own opinion. Their opinion is given to them. Yeah. And so that's what I find a lot with this fan base. I'm sort of like, how long have you been supporting Arsenal for? Because I can't believe that it's been, you know, I mean, more than 20 years, because if it has, then what the hell has happened to you? You know, a lot of these supporters are the types of guys that will come in, catch their missus getting shagged by their best mate, ask them to keep it down, go upstairs to their room and cry about it,
sit downstairs and listen.
Do you know what I mean? Just accepting of it. Do you know what I mean? You know,
just sit downstairs, just listen, wait for it to be over. Even offer to make the guy a sandwich and a cup of tea when he's done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just
I get you.
Yeah, just accepting of the hurt and the pain. That's being that you're having to go through because of somebody else, because somebody else ain't doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, but you ain't got the backbone to do or say anything about it. But you want to have a go at people on Twitter. Because Twitter is a nice, safe place for like keyboard warriors. But you don't want to.
It's the only place for keyboard warriors.
But you know, when you got guys going down there doing for the protests and sort of, you know, and really showing their passion and their dismay at sort of what's going on, you want to have a go. You want to have a go at guys like, you know, AFTV, because these people have strong opinions, and that unsettles you, and that makes you feel like it's, oh no, please don't have a strong opinion, or you know, oh you're toxic, it's bringing negativity. I ain't bringing negativity, because I ain't the one that's making this club fall from the high level that it was at to where we're at now. That's not me being toxic. That's the club bringing toxicity to Arsenal. These owners and this manager and all this, you know what I mean? You're the one bringing it to, because with success, we're all on board. You know, we're all singing from the same tune, right? But with this, yes, people are not going to be happy, and that's something you've got to get used to. But don't take it out on me because I'm vocal.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So you go upstairs, and you go and cry, and you go and listen to that your best mate shagging your missus better than you ever did, right? But shut the fuck up, whilst you're doing it, Don't get brave afterwards, and then go on Twitter and tweet your mate and be like, oh, that was out of order, Do you see what I'm saying?
You can't phone Jeremy Kyle after it's been done, mate. It's done.
Just go and cry and be quiet, and let those of us that have an opinion, and do not accept this bullshit, say what we want to say. You see what I'm saying, right? If you're going to be weak, be weak over there, and us over here will try and we'll implement our opinion, and do what we can to try and get some sort of change at the club, because we're not accepting of this. Every time I see Dan and he's got that Bergkamp shirt behind him, it's a reminder, right? Of that didn't feel like too long ago to me. That's a reminder of what we've had at this club. You know, the standards that have been set. That's it. I don't care anything below that. I'm not accepting it.
No, I completely agree with you. And I've got the same shirt, but I haven't got a name on the back of it. I've still got my red currant shirt in my drawer. I've kept it with pride. And like you just said there, it's a full reminder of how what the good times were, and why should we accept shit? I don't get it. Why should we accept it? We shouldn't have to accept it. After seeing teams like that, and we've seen the players like that, you can't accept after that. You know, you can't accept the downfall. That, you know, it's been a gradual downfall for some time. Yes, you know, we've been hitting top four. We haven't really been hitting the heights that we could have. Except that time, then we come second to Leicester that year. When was that? 2000. It was a couple of years ago anyway. But we were second behind Leicester. And now it's just kind of gradual downfall again. Yeah. Well, there you go. And then It's just been on a gradual downfall. We've hit 5th, we've hit 6th, and now all of a sudden, you're looking at 8th, 9th, 10th, and you're like, I can't accept that shit. I didn't want to accept 5th or 6th. Why should I accept 8th, 9th, and 10th? No.
Yeah, so...
If you want to accept that, if you want to accept a fucking 8, 9, and 10th, like you say, Cory, listen to the guy shagging your missus who's banging the shit out of her, making the fucking neighbours bang on the door because you're being too loud. No, you go do that, I'm going to fucking say something. It's as simple as that. And I think the other thing as well is, and the other thing that's getting me about the fans is at the minute is and I know you're a season ticket holder, Dan, so this is not aimed at you whatsoever, mate, so I've never heard you say this. But season ticket holders are telling people, not all of them, but there's some season ticket holders are saying, if you buy, the new kit got launched today, the new away kit. And there's a lot of talk about it. It's a very nice kit. Even I liked it. I thought it was quite a nice kit. And it's one of the best away kits I've seen for a while. And I've just seen, the cesspit that Twitter is and everything else. And then you've got season ticket holders saying, oh, don't buy the new kit. It's going to the Cronkies. There's this, that, and the other. But it's like, you're a season ticket holder. If I, for instance, wanted to buy that shirt's going to cost me 50, 60 quid, maybe 70, depending on where you get it from. You're buying a season ticket for £1,000. What's all that about? You can't have that. You can't have that opinion. If I want to buy that shirt, you're giving them £1,000. I'm not. I'm giving them 50, 60 quid.
Totally agree.
And it's not even. I'm not giving them a full 50, 60 quid because Adidas are going to take a cut out of that because it's their shirt. They made it. They produced it.
I could not agree with you more.
That's another thing that's really pissing me off at the minute. And it's like, no, you can't say that. And you can't. I'm not being funny. Sorry, mate. And I'm not being funny here. And again, it's nothing against you, Dan. You can have a completely different opinion, and I accept it. But this is the thing that's really pissing me off as well with season ticket holders and everything else. I'm on the waiting list. I would be happy to give that position up on the waiting list if this was going to be happening. And I'm more than happy to do that. And I'd be happy to give up my season ticket. But if shit got real with Cronky out and he's still going out after all these protests and everything else, and I commend the protests, I really do. I think it's great. But if shit got real and shit went downhill really quickly and he still refused to leave, are people going to do the necessary? Are people going to do the necessary and say, look, there's my fucking season ticket, fuck off? And I'm not just saying that to season ticket holders, I'm going to say that to the people, there must be 100,000 people on this waiting list, maybe more, 150,000, 200,000 people. Are each and every single one of them, like I say, I'm included in that waiting list, and I'd be happy to give that up. But are people going to do that? Are people going to turn around and say, right, we want this guy out, he's got to go. There's my fucking season ticket. I am not giving you that.
And this is the thing. Listen, I go to football for sentimental reasons, not just to watch 90 minutes of football, obviously, because I spend time socially and I spend time with my dad. So it's completely different. So we could be in absolute ruins and I'd still go because it's a football game with my dad. Yeah. And that's the reason I go to football. Where I don't get it, Scunny, is people will say, I'm a season ticket holder, don't buy the shirts, but they'll sit there in the stadium, pay the £1,000 for their season ticket, buy a beer, because they all do at half time, but they don't want to buy the shirt. Mate, don't let an owner stop you from buying an Arsenal shirt that you want and stop you from going to games. Make a clear message. Buy 16 million people not ever going to an Arsenal game, not buying a merchandise, not buying any of the food and drink. Yeah, it'll get out, but that ain't going to happen. By 5 of us saying, I've got the ump, throwing your rattle in the corner and saying, I'm not going to buy the shirt this year. Stan Kroenke doesn't give a damn. No. He doesn't care about that. You just you just lose out. Those 5 people lose out that season. That is it. That's why I will probably buy the away shirt because it's very nice, like I always do most years. I will probably go to the ground very early in the first game that I'm back there, see my friends, have a beer, and watch the football game in the ground. That doesn't mean I love Stan Kroenke and I'm giving him a load of money because he's already taken his money. He's already got the money. I could buy 30 beers or no beers. He's still going to get the same amount of money because it's up front. He's already paid for it. And Adidas to get him as much money, if not more, for the shirts, by the way, because that's why they give us £60 million, or whatever the hell it was, over that period of time.
Well, that's why you get a sponsorship. They pay you for the sponsorship. They pay you, say, right, okay, you'll get a cut of the shirt sales. You'll get a cut of whatever merchandise they sell with the Arsenal brand on it. But you only get a certain amount of a cut because we're producing it. So, exactly. But this is what I'm saying, and that's what I've been really getting at, and this is what's really starting to piss me off. It's these legacy fans, these entitled fans that are going on and on and on about this fucking don't buy the shirts, don't buy a beer. But you're fucking paying for £1,000 season ticket. Do one. Seriously.
Yeah, that's look, everybody wants to do what's convenient for them, don't they? You know, nobody kind of wants to take away anything that they enjoy, but they're sort of at the same time want to sort of voice their displeasure at certain things. And I get it. Like in terms of, I spoke to you before, Mike, and just echoing what Dan said, like football for a lot of people is a sociable thing. Yeah. You know, that on the weekend, something they look forward to, they had to go to the pub, have a beer.
It's getting out of the house.
Catch up, getting out of the house, catching up, you know, with their mates and family and whatnot. So I get that. Do you know what I mean? So Dan does what Dan does in terms of like Dan's got a platform, you know, so Dan can voice his opinion, and he knows that, you know, a few thousand people are gonna hear it, you know, and then those 1,000 people then would take what Dan says and talk to their mates and whatnot, and that's how movements are created. So Dan doesn't need to do anything else really, because not many people are on here with you know podcasts and talking to this many people. Okay, but for all the other people that are not on this platform and are jumping up and back down and whatnot, you know, they have to know exactly what it is that they're gonna do that's actually gonna make a difference. So if you're not willing to like give up your season ticket, all right, shut the fuck up about it then. Don't talk about football shirts and stuff like that then, because if you're telling you that you're not willing to make no sacrifice, then don't start telling people about the sacrifice that they should make, you know, with regards to Arsenal or merchandise or money or whatever. Forget money. Like you're not gonna, unless it's like you know, everybody doesn't buy a season ticket, you're not gonna hit them where it hurts.
No,
with regards to finances, okay, and definitely not with shirt sales.
Yeah, that's why I was saying it's like everybody's got to be on point. You know, you can't. You know, every single person's got to do the necessity in that.
Everybody's got
a thingy, and this is what I was getting at. And Dan, I'm not digging at you, mate, your season ticket or anything like I say, nothing against you, mate. So if it come across as that, I apologise. It was nothing to do with that. It was more. Other people like for instance, like Cory said, you've got your platform, you talk, you go and say more Arsenal and everything else. So you're doing your bit, and I fully understand that. But like Cory was saying, there's people out there who like to pipe up but are not willing to do their bit.
Exactly,
and that's what I'm getting at.
And the thing is, with regards to, you can look at like a support base for a football club like it's a country, So you know, when a country typically was colonized, you know. That country that was doing the colonialists will go in there and destabilize that country, right? And that would be divide and conquer, right? So they would make sure that they were never on the same page about things. They will make sure they will implement differences between those people, whether it be religion, culture, whatever, and then that they would be a division within that country, and then that country would never come together and rise up and fight the power, And so when you look at Arsenal and what we're talking about, the fan base and the division between the fan base, if you can't get everybody on the same page, then it is a divide and conquer thing. And the owners win because they're still taking money from the club. The fans are still going to turn up. You know, they're still going to buy that beer. You know, they are going to buy that shirt and whatnot. So it's like, that's not what's going to change anything. You know, you can do the protest, and I do like the protest because it's covered by the media, and it only does take a couple thousand of people to do it to actually be heard. So I would love it if like the fans kept that up, you know, and then if more fans did get involved, because you can still protest and keep your season ticket and buy a shirt, and you can still make a difference. And I think we're seeing that like at Man United, like the coverage that got, you know, from here to like America, you know. It has weakened the Glazers' position. And if they was to keep that up, I would feel confident that the Glazers would sell up if a buyer came in. Same with Arsenal. You're on mute, mate.
I'm on mute again, yeah. Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. And finally joining us, you know, a bit late like, is Manny. Welcome. You finally got here.
He's on mute.
He's on mute as well.
He just logged in and went toilet.
Is he here?
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
Well,
no way. An hour in and he's still not
no,
here.
here he is.
Is he here?
Oh, so now his mic don't
No,
work.
not very. We can't hear you very well, mate.
Underwater, man. Underwater, bruv.
All right, give me 1 second, man. Let me fix my mic and I'll be back. Give me 1 second.
No problem, mate. No problem.
All right,
No worries.
He gets here.
Now, you know what, though? Just quickly while he's doing that, you know what? I don't take offense to any of that, Scunny, you know me. But when it comes to the actual season ticket situation, there are different reasons that people go to football.
Oh, yeah.
The ones that we are talking about are the ones that are the sit there quietly, you know, cheer on their team, be a good fan, have no sort of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Toxic positivity is the word, 2 words I'm looking for that me and Russell Hogg use all the time. You be positive, you sit there and you be a good fan and you cheer for your team. That is toxic. That is as toxic as being negative, in my opinion, because not only are you accepting mediocrity, you're telling the Cronkies you are very happy with Chaka and Louise in your team, with 8th place, and with being out of all competitions come February. That is not what we are supporting this football club for. And the people can say, we've had bad seasons before, you know, in the 70s and 80s, yeah, but we didn't go to the Emirates in the 70s and 80s to compete with Barcelona and Real Madrid, did we? Yeah, we were at Highbury competing.
I wasn't around in the 70s.
Domestic. Well, exactly, neither was I. But what I'm getting at is in the Emirates era, we are supposed to be, are we not, competing with the Bayern Munich's, Real Madrid and Barcelona. That was the dream we were sold. They wasn't sold that dream back in the 70s and 80s. So you can't compare it to that. We have been sold a complete and utter dream. And in 15 years, it has been nothing short of shambolic, mate, if I'm honest with you. And that comes from the top down, for Cronky, Stan and Josh, the board members, the guys that have left, by the way, that don't get away with it. Sven Mislintat, who was apparently supposed to be this absolute god in terms of scouts. And apart from Aubameyang, you got every single other one wrong, didn't he? Mkhitaryan, Socrates, like, awful players, some of them. And then obviously Raul Sanlehi, and we all know what happened with him. Vinay van Kartstrom, what does he do? No one's been able to tell me. I can tell you right now, the last 5 years that everyone's been scratching their head saying, what does he do? He's been trying to sort out European Super League. That's what he's been trying to do. Yeah. So you look at this. Yeah. It is every single level. There's been problems. Bloody, what was his name? Chips, bloody Keswick. He was a nightmare. We've got dinosaurs on the board like bless them, Ken Fryer, Lord Parish of Peckham. They've all done their jobs, but now they are dinosaurs and they need to be removed. And somehow we need to remove this ownership. And whether that is a bid that comes in from a billionaire, whether that's a fans sending a message, I don't care. But we are going nowhere quickly under this guy, and it doesn't matter who's in charge, what players we have, what ownership we have, what board we have. We all need to try and unite to be on one page, and that's been proven very difficult, to be honest with you, which is something we've been saving for Manny, to be fair, but I don't know if he's back with us now.
No.
Nope.
That was answered quickly. No.
Yeah, no, not at all.
No, just look, sport is no longer sport. It's business.
Yeah.
It's not just football. It's across the board. You know, we've got all these like new owners and investors and whatnot that, you know, they see like it's a way to sort of make a buck. So and that's where we're at. So the passion and stuff that we used to get from owners back, say, like, you know, in the 80s and 90s, those days are gone now. You know, so we're, you know, I think, you know, with regards to owners that just want to win badly, it's like they're few and far between these days. You've got like an Abramovich who, you know, sort of just with Chelsea, he bought that club and invested a lot of money. And you thought to yourself, when are you going to see a return on that? Because you spent a lot. But it wasn't about return for him. It was just like, he's a billionaire and he wanted like a billionaire toy. Like he wanted something that it's like where me and you will watch Arsenal, but we can't really do nothing about it in terms of recruitment. He wanted to be a fan of a club and have the say in terms of who comes to the club. And, you know, he was told them to go out and buy his favorite players like Shevchenko and things like that. So, you know, some of the buyers that have come to Chelsea have been from him, not from a scout or whatever. Just it's like, I like that player. I want
Torres
him
and Shevchenko, like you say, they were two.
Yeah.
You got to think Abramovich got it wrong at times.
He gets it wrong, but his heart, his passion.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, his heart, passion was there.
Ambition, mate.
But like I say, his whole thing wasn't, without fault. He got it wrong at times.
Everyone's gonna get it wrong. Like
exactly.
Man City have got it wrong. Do you know what I mean? They haven't won it every year. They've yet to win the Champions League. Looks like they're gonna win it this year, but they've yet to win it despite all of that investment. They have got it wrong.
There's still a chance that they might not even win it this year.
No, but they want to badly. Yeah. You know that. That's the thing you get from the club. Without me or you personally talking to the owners, they badly want to win it. You know that the PSG owners badly want to win the Champions League. Yeah, not because of investment, not because they want to get the prize money, but they want that prestige for the club. Yeah, and that's what we don't have. We don't have an owner that wants that prestige. He doesn't want a prestigious club.
I'd rather have 15 managers, mate, and 15 trophies as opposed to one manager and one trophy in that 15-year period. If I don't care about these sacking managers, like Roman Abramovich is the perfect owner in my opinion. Yeah, even more so than Sheikh Mansour, just for the pure fact that what he has done has always been at Chelsea's best interests. It doesn't matter that Frank Lampard was one of the biggest, if not the biggest legend at the club. He sacked him because he wasn't good enough, because he has ambition to win stuff at Chelsea. And now look at that decision. They're in a Champions League final, an FA Cup final, and pretty much nailed on top four. They were 9th, 1 point in front of Arsenal at the time. Yeah? That's what that guy does. He wins stuff with Chelsea because he has the ambition. And that's what we do not have, is the ambition. We might spend money. Hell, we've spent a lot of money, but we have spent it on absolute dross, like Mustafi and Xhaka and David Luiz and Willians and players like that, because we've got an owner that doesn't care what the people do with the money. He is more than happy to just sit there and take the money that they're earning on it. And I think they will sell, but it needs to be for the right price. This guy at 1.5 billion, I don't think they do that. I think someone needs to come in with nearer to 2 million for them to even think about it. So
I honestly think it's probably going to take about 2.5.
Yeah, look, that's a starting bid in business. You're never going to go in with your highest bid. So that's a starting bid.
That's the other thing, Cory, as well. When it was talking about fans and stuff, and I turned around and said this whole thing about 1.8 billion coming out. I said to people, it's a negotiation. You've got to start somewhere. Of course, you're going to lowball it. It's like when you're buying a second-hand car. That second-hand car's up for £1,000, for instance. You're going to go in and say, "Sure, I'll give you 500 for it." Now, you know you're going to get told to ram it. But that's how a negotiation starts.
Exactly.
It's like, okay, how much do you want for it? And then you're like, okay, I won't accept anything less than 800. It's like, right, well, I'll give you 7. That's how it works.
The thing, you never know, they might sell. When they came into the club and bought, we were a Champions League club. Yeah, we was getting Champions League money. Yeah. And now, we're firmly a Europa League club, with no real strong signs of getting back into the Champions League and being there on a regular basis. So you have to think about the income is going to be a lot less. And then we've had a pandemic as well. Yeah. So they've, in terms of the income of Arsenal, it's been dropping. It's been dropping and dropping. And even with the fans coming back and whatnot, Champions League football still feels unlikely at this time. So with that, they might look at their projections, in the next sort of few years and be like, actually, no, let's cash in now.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And we can hope,
we can hope. Right, Manny, we've got you. Are you in?
Yes. Can you man hear me?
We can hear you. We've finally got you.
All right. Sorry, I'm late, man. Sorry, it's been a crazy day, bro. It's been a crazy day, man. What's going on, man? It's been a while. How you guys doing?
I'm all good, mate. I'm all good.
All good,
sweet,
man.
Bro. Sweet. All good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna have to catch up on the discussion, like on the back end of this, man. So what are we talking about, man?
Well, it's been a bit of a mix, hasn't it?
Everything. Yeah, I think what Mike said was just like, have your say. Say what you need to say about Arsenal this season. What's your thoughts? So you could just take that and run with it, I think.
You know what? What I think about Arsenal this season is what I've been thinking about them for the last 15 years. A sorry excuse for a big club, keep making the same mistakes, keep making the wrong appointments, keep, just wasting money on trash. we've got fans, instead of uniting and coming together against a common enemy, you dickheads decide to turn on each other, right? And I don't understand it. So, we ask ourselves, what did the board want? Do they want to be successful or do they want to make money, right? I want to ask the fans, what the fuck do you lot want? Do you want Arsenal to be back where it was? Or do you want the same trashy, mediocre crap that we've been watching for the last 15 years? Yeah, I'm genuinely asking this question because I don't understand how 1 minute we're screaming about the Cronkies, they've taken the club and they've turned it into crap. And then the next minute, turn on each other. Oh, it's TV's fault. It's this person's fault. It's that person's fault. Listen, I'm always going to point at the fans. Always. Because for me, the execs are, they're protected. Nobody really sees who these people are. Nobody really knows what they do. They don't care about Arsenal. Not really. The only people that really care about the club, apparently, is the fans, right? So why can't you come together? When I saw this protest take place, yeah, Potts, you know exactly what my opinion was immediately. You dickheads. 5 years. 5 years. Yeah? So when I went to the original protest in 2016, the time for change, do you know what I got? Abuse, spat at fellow fans. Yeah? Because I had a difference of opinion. Now, 5 years later, you don't want to wake up. Now it's too far because now, there's this Super League that's come into play. So Arsenal losing 8-2 wasn't enough for you dickheads to wake up. Arsenal being embarrassed in Champions Leagues wasn't enough to wake up. Accepted the Granit Xhakas and the David Luiz and the Hector Bellerins, all these trashy shit players. Like, listen, what is it going to take for you lot to wake up? Why did it have to take a Super League, an idea, for you lot to wake up? Wasn't the reality enough? Right? Finishing fourth, everybody's celebrating. Yeah? Finishing above Tottenham now that's the level. Do you see how embarrassing that is? But a fan like myself, who actually wants to see Arsenal back to where it was, I'm the one who's being abused. I'm the one who's got to take flack. Yeah? I'm the one who's got to read the stupid, shitty comments from dickheads who don't even know about the game. No, listen, I'm not even going to go into that. My point is simple, man. And you can hear it in my voice. Fuck this damn club. Yeah? Fuck this club. And I'm saying it proudly. You know why I'm saying it? Because I'm asking every single fan, you boys included, what have you been given in return for your loyalty? In the last 15 years, what have you been given?
Well, yeah? What do we get? What do we get in them packages? It was a beanie hat, a pair of gloves, a face mask recently. That's what we've been given as loyalty. That's where it is.
That's the receipt you get for loyalty. Yeah. But remember, we were meant to be competing with Bayern Munich, losing 10-2. Yeah. You don't show up against Villarreal, but you want to go away to Stamford Bridge and win 1-0. You pricks! When it mattered, when it really mattered. Look at the last 15 years. Europa League final. Yeah. Leicester. Look at the embarrassment. But that wasn't enough for Arsenal fans. That wasn't enough. No, it wasn't. A stupid European Super League is why you lot woke up. And you don't want to talk to me about, what's that stupid campaign called? We Care Do You. Fuck you lot.
Yeah.
No, fuck you lot.
If anyone knows me and Manny or anything else who've watched us before, me and Manny have been saying We Care Do You can fuck off for a long time.
It's coming back, according to Fergus. Coming back
get the fuck out of here.
Coming back to do what exactly? Coming back to do what? Right?
Fuck knows.
What that was a popularity contest for everybody in that stupid little clique. Yeah? You got tiny little balls and skinny little arms. They want to feel big about themselves. We care, do you? Look, we got the board we got all these signatures. Then what the fuck did you do? Nothing. Nothing.
Time Pepe and the fucked off.
Do you know what I mean? Pepe was enough.
To be excited, and that was it. That was enough to shut up. Unbelievable.
Do you see what I'm saying? It is so easy to divide this fan base. Yeah? Because we were told for years, we'll be competing. We have to go through this. But really and truly, we really didn't. Lied to. Made a fool of. But what do we do as a fan base? Turn on each other. Make it easy for the powers that be to really fuck us over. Yeah?
all of these shiny new toys that we've been given, the Pepes, the Artetas, all of these people, right? We've been told that this is the dawn of a new era. What era, bro? What have we seen? But Arsenal fans, what do? One protest, and then you disappear. Nothing else. Take the criminal element out of it. Yeah? All of the criminal element out of it. What United fans did, yeah, shut down that game is more than any Arsenal fan will do in the league. Arsenal never had the balls. They don't have the balls. No, we don't want to stop the game going ahead, but we don't want the Cronkies to be at the club. Which one do you want? Which one do you want? Because if it means that we don't play the North London derby, right, the next 10 North London derbies, but the Cronkies will be out in 5, don't play the next 10. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because at what point? Like, listen, I've been ranting for so long, like, because obviously I've been late. I've got so much going on in my head. But really and truly, the one sentiment I have, yeah, is fuck this club. Really and truly, fuck them. Because they've done nothing but give us lies and misery, mistakes upon mistakes. These are meant to be professionals. Yeah, we're being told that we can't sign these players, but you go and sign David Luiz for £10 million? You pricks!
So true, man.
I'm sick of saying the same things. I said it earlier. I am not coming back on a damn podcast platform if I'm going to be talking about the same shit. I've been saying it for too long. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of saying the same shit. And what's even funnier to me is the same people who were cussing me for saying this, you know, a few years ago, now they're jumping on the bandwagon. Where the fuck were you lot?
Yeah, man.
Where were you lot? You know what I mean? Now you want to be angry. I
cannot argue with you. Cannot argue with you. And that's a good point. Actually. A good point. I forgot about the Man United, the protests and everything else like that. You know, is it unreasonable to want Arsenal fans to do that? Not the criminal side of it, but to stop the game.
They would never do that.
Wrong.
They would never do that. Never. It's easier to go and fight Robbie from AFTV than it is to stop a football match, according to Arsenal fans. Don't boo the team. Don't boo Mustafi during the freaking preseason friendly when he's shit.
I remember that.
Do you know what I'm saying? So I remember being told very, very, very clearly, right, that my idea of emptying out the stadium was too radical. Right? It was too radical. It was too far. Yet 5 years later or 4 years later, whenever this comment was made, you idiots decide to show up in your thousands during a pandemic, and that's not radical. That's not radical at all. There's no issues with that. Yeah? But when we were talking about it's time for change and we really wanted to change shit when Cronky was sitting at the stadium, what did you idiots go ahead and do? It's only one. I said, I'm so sick of you lot, man. I've had enough. Whoever's listening to this, right, takes umbrage with what I've got to say. You can't find me anyway, so go fuck yourselves. I'm sick of you, man.
So true, bro. So true, though, man.
I'm tired.
Facts, mate.
This is 15 years. 15 years. Yeah? You mean to tell me I've gone from year 10 to being a grown man and pay my own bills and Arsenal still making the same fucking mistakes? What are you trying to tell me here? And I'm supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to support no matter what. I already said this on another podcast, man. I love this football club to death, but fuck you. Because you're giving us nothing but misery, being made a fool of, a laughing stock. Yeah? Winning tiny little FA Cups. Meanwhile, fucking you've got Silicon United in the freaking finals, man. City and fucking Chelsea come out of nowhere. Money out their asses. Go into Champions League finals. Manchester City will potentially win a Champions League before Arsenal Football Club, and you lot are expecting me to be happy. I'm supposed to support and say nothing. You don't criticize. Don't do this. Don't do that. Yeah? Where did I get you? Where's that got you? Nowhere. You see Xhaka every week. You see David Luiz. You see, listen, at some point, Arsenal fans are going to have to take ownership for the part they didn't play in getting these people out the door. We made a fool of, and still to this day, 15 years later, you refuse to wake up. Well, keep going. Keep going to the Emirates like sheep. You keep doing what you're doing. Potts, I'm not even involving you in this one. We already had this conversation. I'm talking about the ones that go and support, but then they come on on WhatsApp and they moan and bitch and complain. Well, what did you do? What did you do? Jesus Christ. I'm done.
It's pretty much what we've been saying most of the night, man.
You just echoed our sentiments exactly.
You've summed it up in like 15 minutes, mate.
It took us an hour and a bit.
It took us over an hour to sum it up, and you've come and done it in 15 minutes. It's been brilliant.
But that's because you lot have been trying to flesh it out while I'm trying to get my shit together. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, first, I didn't even expect you lot to still be live, but I'm glad that you are. Because this is the last I'm saying about this, man. This is I don't care who's watching. I don't care who is listening. This is the last of it. I refuse to come back on a podcast like this and run my bloody head against the wall because this club refused to wake up. Yeah? Yet again, Aubameyang, captain, the same mistakes. Yeah, David Luiz, we didn't learn from Schillaci. You know what I mean? We never learn.
Can I just clarify quick, Manny? When you say a podcast like this, there's only one Friday Arse, mate, and we're the best. So it's, we're not putting this podcast down.
Bro, I mean, any podcast, period, brother. But I'm so damn tired of saying the same shit. When I first appeared on a podcast, right, on Guns, go back and listen to it and tell me, has any of the things that I've been saying changed at all? None of it. None of it's changed. But yeah, keep on supporting. Keep on singing that dumb We Hate Tottenham song every fucking game. That's really going to change things at this football club. Yeah? That's really going to make a difference. Man, I'm sick of you. I'm sick of everything to do with Arsenal at the minute. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear anything. Come back to me when things actually start to change. Because I'm sick of it. I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about my opinion. I don't care. I'm not going to put myself through this shit to watch these overpaid bastards wear that beautiful shirt and make a mockery out of it. Go ahead, Potts, what are you going to say, bro?
No, go on, bro. I was just going to bring you in because this is a silly question for me to ask because I know the answer, but I just think it's important. What do you want to see happen?
Oh, come on, man.
I'm serious because...
Really?
Because I think it's important because there's so much to happen. I just feel like realistically, what are we expecting now, I suppose, is more the question.
Expect nothing. Expect nothing. Don't expect anything and hope you're surprised by something. Yeah? Hope that the takeover bit is actually real. Hope that all these fantasies and these deluded Arsenalists are actually going to fuck off out the club. Yeah, these people that keep telling you this is how you're supposed to be, this is how you're supposed to support. Believe the fantasy that these people are leaving the football club, bro. Keep believing it because you need something to hold on to when it comes to these lot. Really, the expectation, expect nothing. I don't want to be in Europe next season. Let Tottenham have it. They're going to be in that Europa Conference shit anyway. Let them have it. Let them have it. Don't go to Chelsea and win. What's the point? Finish 9th. That's what you deserve. What the hell we be doing in the Europa Conference? We're going to lose that too. So what's the point? Expect nothing. Expect nothing from Arsenal Football Club because in the last 15 years, we've expected so much and look what we got. 9th. West Ham finishing above us. Everton spending money in the right places. Meanwhile, look at what's happening at the Emirates.
I want to ask,
Fuck me.
There's people that have got probably better football knowledge than me. Has there ever been a club where a set of owners have come in, right, been this shit, but then turned it around? Or has the change always come from a change of ownership?
It's got to come from a change of ownership, man. The impetus from the top has got to change.
Because I can't think of any. Like, I can't think of where someone's like, oh, started off shit, everybody hated them, and then they made a couple good decisions and then turned it around. It's always had to be like, no, actually, new owners have come in.
Impetus.
Yeah, there has to. Yeah,
Because look at it from the top down, right? Look at it from the Cronkies down to the board, down to the V-knives and that stupid haircut, yeah. Down to the physios, down to the Artetas, the players, the fan base. You know what's the common theme that runs from top to bottom? Everybody, most of them, right? Because I'm not part of this shit, but they're happy with mediocre. They accept it. That's why some people come on, you go on podcasts and say Xhaka should be captain. You've accepted this. So don't go anywhere and complain about anything. You accepted it. You wanted this. You wanted to be ninth. Clearly, if this is good enough, yeah, if Hector Bellerin is good enough, Lord have mercy, I've never wanted to see him. Oh, Lord, I'm sick of him. I'm sick of the bunch. There's no player in this team at the moment under the age of 26 that I want to see wear that shirt 100%. None of them. But see, a lot of you accepted this. The Cronkies don't know shit about these players. Somebody at the top signed them. They weren't good enough. You accepted them. Don't come on here and say shit. Don't come on here and say nothing. Some of you plebs out there are still talking about Wojciech Szczesny. Nah, man.
We've had this discussion already. We'll go for it, mate.
Wojciech Szczesny. So going backwards again. You not learn.
Szczesny and Ramsey. Szczesny and Ramsey going back to 2010.
Aaron Ramsey. What the fuck has Aaron Ramsey done at Juventus? Stunk out the place. Nothing. Rotting away. Yeah? Ankles probably just degraded while he's sitting there on the bench. Yeah? With a winner's medal. What the fuck did he do to earn it? Yeah?
Mate,
bring back Ramsey.
Aaron Ramsey is one tackle away from retirement. It's as simple as that.
I couldn't give a fuck about Aaron Ramsey. Fuck him. But it's the fans that think that, oh, let's bring back the crap that was a problem before because that's going to fix the problems now. And where does that mentality come from? Right? What I just mentioned. So you go and get fucking Mika Verst and Schillaci, yeah? And then what? Few years later, yeah, bring me David Luiz. Yeah? Who else in defect? You bring me fucking Park Chu-Young. As if you didn't learn from Shamak. Come on, man. Come on.
Man, we were linked yesterday with Cesar Azpilicueta.
Oh, fuck.
It'll probably be the next one. It'll probably be the next one. We haven't learned from Willian, Luiz, or Czech.
Hold on, no, Potts. We haven't learned from the Yossi.
It wouldn't surprise me at all signing an old Chelsea player. It just would not surprise me because it happens every year or every 2 years. There's always an ex-Chelsea player hanging at the door going, "I'll come."
We need a right back and a left back. So
yeah,
get Azpilicueta and Alonso.
Do you know what I mean? I was screaming to the top of my fucking lungs about David Luiz. Yeah, some of you were talking about, oh, he brings experience. Yeah, no experience. I remember when I think about David Luiz, 7-1, bro. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the experience I remember David Luiz being involved in. 7-1. Oh, he did these things for Chelsea. He bring experience to Arsenal. So you didn't learn from Czech. William Gallas. You didn't learn from these people. You went and made the same mistakes. Doing it again and again and again, not reinventing the wheel. But I'm supposed to keep on supporting this no matter what. Stressing myself over this lot? Nah, fuck off. You can get up for Chelsea in the meaningless game, but Villarreal in the semi-final. Chelsea in an actual final. Where were you? Nowhere. And some of you fans who were screaming to the top of your lungs then are now coming on podcasts accepting this bullshit. Fuck you lot, man. I'm done. But I'm done. I'm tired and I'm sick of talking about Arsenal Football Club, man. Until this club starts to wake up and start to reflect fans like me, who goes crazy, who actually gives a fuck. I'm not giving another ounce of my energy to these people. You come back to me when you start to care about Arsenal Football Club. Yeah? You come back to me when I actually see some changes on the pitch, when I see players who actually want to play for the club. Yeah, who actually want to put 110% for the club, not the Aubameyangs of this world who signs a new contract and disappears with that stupid haircut. The Lacazettes, yeah, the fucking Ozils of this world. You keep bringing me these people, and yet the Leicesters can go and find gems, and I'm supposed to accept this. When Arsenal Football Club can actually act like they've got some fucking sense. Then call my number. I'm done with this shit.
Oh, right. He's not kidding. He's done. Yeah, I think on that note, I think on that note we have gone well over what we normally do. Guys, thanks for joining me. Really appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, thanks for joining in. I think me and Cory have sort of half decided that we probably won't be back till next season. Is that right? Do you reckon?
That's how it goes, man. You know, if there's something worth talking about, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see at the end of the season. If there's anything worth talking about, we might be back. If not, yeah, there's probably no point till next season, is there?
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Like Dan had some breaking news today, you know, with regards to the departures and stuff like that. So if things like that happen and it's worth talking about, then I'm down to talk about it. Unlike Manny, who's, you know, I'm not quite there yet. I'm fed up, like a lot of people are, but just, you know, I could still talk about Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we might do one at the end of the season, then we'll do an end of season review or something. It depends if I can be arsed with it, but I'll probably end up world being. So yeah, we'll do an end of season review, mate, and we'll go from there. Probably won't be as downbeat as this one was, but I think it's stuff that needed to be said.
Do you remember
everyone got to say it?
I actually said to you, like, I wanted to be a little bit measured with regards to like my opinion, but it's like as I started talking, I was like, you know what, I ain't really got nothing good to say.
Nah,
you know.
Worry about it.
And like I say, I think we just quickly, like we've had our record against the top 6 ain't as bad as it's been previously. If you were to look at some positives and stuff, but we balanced that out with like our home record has been absolutely worse than it's ever been. You know, where we couldn't get a win in how much games and stuff. So yeah, too much negative, not enough positives. But let's see what happens.
Yeah, probably the best thing to do, isn't it? Let's see what happens. You never know. Things might change as soon as the season finishes. You might hear loads of news and things might just go up in the air. So we just don't know, do we?
I'm trying to end on a positive note.
I'm trying to end on a positive.
I know you are.
We might get a new owner at the end of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to be positive.
Trying to be positive.
It's just not working. And I think the best comment on the chat here is this one here when when Manny was talking about Chesney. Just laughing. Sentiment, I know he's changed his name, but it's Why Not Sentiment. Thanks for joining us again, mate. He's always here. Always joins us, doesn't he?
Yeah, big
Loves it. And like I say, on that note, I think we're going to have to end it there because it's getting on a bit now. And I think Cory was meant to go out about an hour ago.
Yeah. So yeah, you just I know I love you guys. You know, I give you my overtime.
Committed.
This is it. Right. That's it from the Friday Arse. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining.
This is an Arse Brothers production. Follow us on Twitter at The Arse Brothers. Get all our content on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, and SoundCloud at Arse Bros. And if you like what you hear, don't forget to smash that subscribe button.